they beat up on Andrew about his house and it did not work. Why do you think they think it would work? No. Remember they beat on me.
Wow. In Peter Phillips' career.
Yeah. Why do they think it would work? No.
I think it's a combination of a lot of factors.
KD Knight.
The fact that they're going around the island with no plan as well.
Man. That is more that is one that bothers my mind.
Listen,
you're going to make a difference and you don't have a plan.
Listen, yes. I don't think they can change any strategy because they don't have a strategy. If they were to go facts to facts and program to program, policy to policy, and pound per pound, talent and ability, they cannot compete with the JLP nowhere at all. So the only strategy they have is to smear campaigning. They have nothing else.
And Marky, one of the biggest things that's going for the Prime Minister as well, to as an hello neighbor, is the fact that despite all they have attacked the Prime Minister did not fall for their distraction. The Prime Minister remained steadfast on his job. He stayed focused, and that's why he's relevant. If he went in a tit for tat argument with them, that would give them some form of relevance. It's just a dog barking at a fine.
On Bridgemar. Sorry about that.
Yes, he has conducted himself in a very dignified way. So the news this afternoon is that the JLP leader is enjoying a record, based on what One Love is saying, a record level of popularity, approval rating as high
after 9 years.
In 9 years. So a man is doing a job for 9 years, and as he seeks to renew his mandate to the people, 42% of Jamaicans are saying yes, and another 32% is saying, well, we're not saying no. That is 74% One Love.
And what we must remember that the part that people go for leaders, the likability of leaders. You know,
they like these numbers, Bridget. If you look at the numbers, even in these, because 26% say poor.
Right.
That means that a significant amount of PNP supporters are suggesting that the Holness is doing a good job.
Right.
Neighbor and Bridget and everybody on the platform. There is something else to with Jamaican people that people overlooking. Jamaican public has never ever, and I don't want to sound like I'm putting the opposition leader in a box, but the Jamaican public has never ever voted a leader who is obese. Never. Never happened. It never happened. Michael Manley, the woman him love Michael Manley because he no, the truth.
Yeah, you're right. You know, you're right.
It's the truth.
But One Love, we have never had an obese leader going up. I don't remember.
Peter Phillips and Mark Golden. Peter Phillips and Mark Golden.
I mean, One Love, I think both Peter Phillips and Mark Golden are the two least popular leaders that the PNP has ever put forward. They're especially Mark Golden, he's not marketable. PNP, especially more than the Jamaica Labour Party, is a party that always has a popular leader.
Yeah.
And we have seen that dwindle from Peter Phillips to now. They have not formed back that type of leadership that they are used to. And it's hard for their supporters to rally around Mark Golden.
But Scratchy. You know when I discovered that PNP is in trouble, you have to watch politics. Don't listen to what is said, Listen to what is not being said.
Mm-hmm.
When I know the PNP is in problem, when I see the PNP resort to Peter Bunting and Mark Golden as leader, those two men don't even like themselves.
Exactly.
They don't even like themselves much as people ever like them. And when you see the PGA, come out time hole, come on, my brother.
Yeah,
that is the last straw.
Desperation.
And another thing that we must look at, when I see the Mark Golden on a platform vowing to go and get false money a private transaction or whatever, you know, and when everybody is bawling out their throat, I see more than desperation there. I see more than desperation.
Just use
It's like you have your partner. You're in a relationship with your partner. Every day you're up in her face. Nothing go on. You keep telling her you have nothing you can tell her no alternative. Tell her say this is go on. She'll eventually move on, and that's what the Jamaica people are doing now for the PNP.
Yep.
They're moving on.
Exactly. You know that PNP did. You know that the PNP did an internal did a poll for themselves, right? And 4 weeks ago, a journalist asked, I think it was Jackson Miller, asked Dayton Campbell about the poll. He said no, that is internal. That is internal PNP business. No, you tell me when the PNP do a poll and find out that they are in favor of the public and no rush out with it.
Wow.
Until when they publish.
Guys, the news this evening across, and let me tell you something, the Labour Party needs to make
capitalize.
Huh?
Need to capitalize on this one.
Make much of this, you know, and that is what we are trying to highlight. The positive coming out of this poll for the Labour Party. Churchill. 50 chance that the party is going to win based on the poll. 10% favorability, likability lead for the JLP. So the JLP is 10% more popular than the PNP in Jamaica today. 10%. And
the leaders
has a favorability of 47% and has a 47% trust, which I think Churchill is bound to be a positive for the party. The party this evening should be thinking about going to the polls early. What do you think?
It is tempting, yes. I think after the budget, and I don't foresee, although politics is a funny game, you know. The longer you wait, the more chance that something could come up to throw you off your throne.
Yes.
So there may be an argument to have it as soon as possible.
Don't you think labor rights are going to be buoyed by these poll results, Churchill?
Yes, they have to. We have to be very confident and optimistic about these results.
And stay far from getting complacent.
One thing I noticed, Churchill, is that the polls margin of error is 2.5%, which suggests that the researchers at Blue Dot are quite
and I'm not claiming to by any measure, but the number of people who were polled, 1,500. I kind of not so comfortable with that number. But beyond that,
you think it should be higher?
Yes, absolutely. If I had seen
but no, in terms of a sample size, based on the number of persons that are registered to vote, 11 to 1,500 is very good.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna question that. It's just in my mind,
The late Carlstone neighbor, how much was his ICE number?
No, 1,200.
1,200. Yeah, I was thinking that
yes.
day.
In terms of sample, because what you pick up, sample size, and when you look at the number of persons on the voters list, what you want to do is to find a figure that is representative And if you go like 3,000, then your margin of error becomes larger.
Yeah.
So the more people that you poll, the larger you find that your margin of error is.
The more likely you are of being off.
Sir?
Yeah, so the more you poll, it's more likely that you will be off. It's less accuracy you will get.
Yeah.
Less accuracy you will get.
Really?
You think so?
Really?
Yes, yes.
I-
That's how polling is
Yeah,
done.
that's how polls work. That's how polls
Science.
work.
It's science, yeah.
Remember, it's a sample, you know.
That is the way of
hold
polling.
on. Hold on. Let me see this. Theoretically, right? The closer you get to the sample, the actual sample, the more accurate your result should be. The farther away you get from the total sample size, the less accurate it should be. That is in my...
Yeah, but Churchill, you don't want to conduct a poll and then you have a margin of error of 10.5.
No. Listen what I'm saying. Suppose you should poll every single person. That's the most accurate poll you could do. You poll every single person.
You poll every
Right?
single person, I don't think that would consider as a poll.
Of course it is.
Well,
What
is
do
that-
you
Poll
mean?
is a sample. You poll every single person that's facts.
But it's
A
still a
poll is
poll.
not factual. A poll is not factual.
A
Your
poll
poll
is
is-
not.
That's
All
why
right,
they tell you
so-
that the best poll is the election. That's where you get the actual facts.
Right. So listen what I'm
Churchill,
saying.
I debate your point for around 3 months with it, and I came out losing.
That's why they say that the best poll is
That
the
is the way of
election, where the
polls.
facts come out. If you poll every single person, no, that's not a poll, that's facts.
Yeah, that's not a poll. That's what I said. That would be an election.
So
Yeah, my poll is a sample.
Your sample size, Churchill, should be about 10%. Right? So if you're
Exactly continuous, and that becomes a census.
All right.
That's why I was asking how much was the average of the late Carlstone or even what's the other guy? That's what is
Dan Anderson.
the other day.
I don't think Dan
Anderson.
Anderson passed 2,000.
All right. So all right.
Yeah.
We're talking about the if we go to half the number of electorates.
All right, Churchill, let's see with the polls, the key thing that you want to have at least as possibly is your margin of error.
Yeah.
so
You
if
want to
you-
make sure that your margin of error, that gap is not too wide.
Limited.
the margin of
Right.
error would be 10%.
Yeah, you don't want your margin of error that you be totally off now. That sample would make sense.
No,
If you have a 10-point gap in it.
I agree with the point you're making, but what I'm saying is, suppose your sample size is 100. If you poll 50 people from that sample, that's from that population of 100, if you take a sample of 50, wouldn't that be more accurate than doing 10 people?
Again, you will have a larger margin of
Margin
error.
of error.
Yeah,
It's a margin of error. It makes it
makes it more off, makes it more or
Right,
less accurate.
right.
More, yeah,
makes
remember
it
saying
more
a
off.
poll.
Yeah.
Yes, so the higher number you got, the more your average is up. That's why they always tell us that the best poll is on election day. The election result, that is the best poll. That one is factual. This is just a sample.
What you-
Churchill,
what-
there are some explanation to polling scientifically that I will not understand until I did. So I leave it alone.
yes, it's very scientific. Yes, one love, it's very scientific.
I'm going to disagree
They-
with
they-
you because
They say 10. They say 10 is important. 10 is the number 10 is important. 2 is important. 3 is important, and 5 is important in poll.
Yes.
They must know when they work the magic. I not question it.
no. I'm just gonna say we're gonna move on, but I'm gonna disagree with you because
Yeah, I mean, we can have a next discussion on this, Churchill, at some other point. Yeah.
yeah, all right. But anyway, I just look at it that it's 1,500 people and they did it in all the parishes. That's gonna break down to about 100 and a little bit. 100, just over 100 people per parish, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it that way.
Yes.
And so I don't know how to distribute the number of people polled in each parish. If it's an equal number or depends on the population size. they kind of have it, you know, proportional to the population size. I don't know. Because if you're doing...
They use the same sample size. They use the same sample size across the board, yeah?
You think so? You know that for a fact?
Cliff, you said that, and yeah.
Okay. So the margin of error is going to be different in each parish then?
The margin
of error in the same church.
It would be this because they would, after they do like 100 year or whatever, they put everything together.
No, but when in terms of when you pull out each parish, you're gonna a different proportion of the sample versus the population.
But Churchill,
I'm not getting you, Churchill.
let us not spend too much more time.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not getting you, but it's okay.
26% of Jamaicans are saying that the Prime Minister is not doing a good job. That 26%, Churchill, is very, very low. It appears to me that from here on, a miracle would have to happen for the Labour Party to lose.
And they said it's down, right, neighbor? It's down from 2020.
Yes, it is down from
2023.
From 2020, the Prime Minister has a 10% increase in approval rating. I want to ask you, my good friend Churchill, what is happening in Jamaica that is causing the Prime Minister's popularity to be improving? I think that when you look at cost of living, when you look at inflation, when you look at the negative campaigning, one of my friends have described it as carpet bombing. This should have cut into the Prime Minister's popularity.
Well, there are a number of things. Remember, the Prime Minister of late is out there soft campaigning right now. And I think that's part. When this poll was done within the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man, it's about a month. It's about a month, man, because they came in about 2 weeks now.
All right.
Yeah.
So
they came in about 2 weeks now.
Over the last month, you've been seeing the Prime Minister out there. Over the last month and a half, actually, almost every day you see Prime Minister out there giving away house or making some kind of speech.
Sorry to interject you, Churchill. I think the whole program is hitting home to a lot of Jamaicans.
Yes.
Those houses, yes. Those houses, they're hitting home. Even if they don't get one, they see people benefiting. You understand? I think and that is why the PNP attacked the housing program the other day. They see and feel the impact that it is making on Jamaicans.
So the presence of the Prime Minister out there is gaining. It's a soft campaigning, and it's gaining traction. And what it is doing is it is providing hope among Jamaicans that the Prime Minister is doing something for people, and it's a feel-good thing for people. They're buying into it.
Yeah.
Despite the negatives that's coming from the PNP, their desperate move to try to solid the Prime Minister's image, it's not working. Or even if some people just feel that way sometimes, I think they're coming around to the idea that, hey, the Prime Minister...
Would you want to guess the party standings at this point, Churchill?
If you don't want to do what?
Hazard a guess as to what you think the party standings are like at this moment.
Hello, neighbor, because it was a 50-50 split yesterday. I'm kind of very weary because I don't understand that. That's why I was saying I would like to see the party standing tomorrow.
The 50-50 is perception, though, it is.
Yeah, I'm sort of weary of that.
And 50% is saying yes, and 50% is saying no. But remember, the gentleman pointed out this morning that in terms of history, you find that in Jamaica, only one prime minister has gotten a third term. And therefore, in the psyche of Jamaica, they feel that after 2 terms, that should be it. This 2-term syndrome. I remember hearing Mr. Siaga saying at one point that there was no way the PNP was going to win a 3rd term because Jamaicans would not do that. 2 terms and you are done. And so probably that is in the minds of Jamaicans saying, well, I don't know. But
that is what is sort of boggling my mind. So I want to wait.
This is my view, really. I think the party standings will be like between 4.5 to 5% in favor of the JLP. And let me tell you why I say it. 3 things you need.
With Mackie with a margin of error of 2.5?
I'm saying 4.55. I'm just saying that it could be more, but I'm very conservative.
Mackie, we're writing you down. We're writing you down.
Yeah, I'm conservative. I'm
conservative. On the pencil, neighbor.
I'm unconservative because I'm saying it could be more, right? But I'm saying this because 2 things are happening. If you notice how the polls, in terms of where the JLP get most of its support, based on the poll findings today, it is amongst the 18 to 25 age group and mostly amongst women. If you notice what is happening, or women over the years have take far much more participation in the electoral process, in terms of being electoral day workers, in terms of pushing the message, in terms of organizing the party meetings and all these things. So if you can win over majority of the female support, that puts in a very good stead. Additionally, where the youth are concerned, it is clear when you look at the various meetings, you see them.
Yeah.
And especially engaging in terms of policy and stuff. You see more young people involved now, and they're more swinging to the JLP.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I find too is, person don't say it, but from the compensation review was done from 2022 to now, you won't hear persons come out and saying, listen, me really, government treat me well and it's good. You don't hear those persons saying anything. It's those persons who might have like a discrepancy with the salary compensation, they might have any issues. But I can tell you the vast majority of them don't. And many of them, a couple of them have told me, listen, when it comes to election, you just go and see people just walk in and vote.
Mm-hmm.
That has a lot to do with the perception as well out there, the public perception that is out there, right? And you need also, to my mind, you need private sector support. Comparable to the PNP, I know for a fact that the JLP has it more than them. So there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes, I believe. And I believe if the JLP can bring on upwards of 90% of their own party supporters, they need not worry about the PNP.
That's because, as I said earlier, Mackie.
Yes?
90%?
Meaning, if you look at the poll is saying that in terms of the party support, the polarization of the party support, right?
87%.
You find, and I'm not misquoting it because I don't have any figures before me. I'm just going based on what I recollection. It seems to me that majority of the PNP supporters, they are more in support of the party right now. It says in one of the polls that 18% of the JLP supporters, are average or don't feel so 100%. I don't know. Don't quote me, but I'm just saying based on that, from one to JLP, you have to bring out their support, because what happened with the JLP over the years is that their support, the way policy, they look into issues a little bit more. So you won't see the jumping up rare thing with them. They will sit on and wonder if this really work, if this makes sense. So they're very cognitive of certain things. So you find
there is a distinction you are making between a laborite and a comrade. I want you to make that distinction a little bit more for me, because I find it interesting. You are saying that the laborite is policy driven.
I would think so.
More issues, and they want to see if it's working for me or just working for the country. I think that what I gather from persons who I find support the JLP, they're more patriotic, not nationalistic. They look at certain things more.
They
quicker
ask
to
more
kick,
questions.
yes, and they're quicker to kick the JLP to the curb as opposed to the PNP supporters kicking the PNP to the curb.
They
That's
do
what I
Is
get
it
that.
from them.
loyalty? Is it that comrades are more loyal to their party and laborites look at the country?
That is what I believe.
We
That's
have
what I
to
believe.
face reality, you know. We have to
Hello,
face reality, you
Eva.
know. The PNP is a cult, you know. If you want to believe it or not, it's up to
Yes,
you.
yes. I was just gonna say that because the other day we were on one of the PNP members said they will put their family, they will put the PNP ahead of their family anytime, any day, and they don't care.
I remember that, Bridget. I was on that
I think-
live as well.
Yes, I think you were
Neighbor,
there.
I can give
Tracy.
you
Yeah.
I can give you one example. I can
Yeah.
give you one example.
This is
The JLP
fascinating.
introduced Heart. The JLP introduced Heart in Jamaica. And the PNP, whatever program the PNP implement, you'd never hear a JLP parents put out a child because they go to a PNP institution. I know of cases where people put out them pitney out of their house because the pitney go hard and don't make the government look good.
Oh my, yeah.
You're not finding radical behavior there with the JLP.
But you know,
Well,
Churchill, this is
I
very
think-
interesting because historically the PNP came out of the intelligentsia. The Labour Party were more from the working class. How are we suggesting now in 21st century Jamaica?
Neighbor, be careful of the word intelligence, you know. Be careful.
Huh? No. It is true. The normal manly, the PNP were from the upper class.
That is your assumption. Neighbor, that is our assumption.
Yes. Well, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to learn. But I'm hearing now, and these are discussions that I find fascinating because I am a student of psychology. So you are suggesting that the laborites are not loyal to their party. They look more on issues and the
Loyal to
development of the country.
To Jamaica.
But the comrades,
Exactly.
I would say not loyal to their party. What we have to understand with the Jamaica Labour Party supporters is we have to make a distinguish. You have labor rights and you have JLP supporters. Jamaica Labour Party tend to attract the more undecided or the one voter man or the person who vote based on policies and programs. So you find that these persons are more interested in what the government has to offer more than what the party has to offer. And I think that is what we have to understand, that the undecided and the one-time voter more support the Jamaica Labour Party than the PNP.
is that my strategy? There has been a talk of a larger PNP base. What is the base?
I mean, the PNP base has dwindled. Personally, for me, I think there's a lot of different factors
No,
that
I would rather use the word offer and give. I would rather use the JLP vote and what? The parliament.
bro.
A little bit, maybe internet issues, but I'm just saying I have seen it, and it's not that the JLP supporters that I speak to will necessarily vote for PNP now, but they are more, they hold the JLP to a higher standard.
Yes, exactly.
The JLP voters vote
and they are willing to say, listen, I don't believe that right now, and they come to your face and they will say it.
Exactly.
I don't get that with the PNP. It doesn't matter what you put up, them will vote PNP.
Exactly.
Or they won't have any issues with the PNP.
I agree with you, Monkey. I totally agree with you.
When you listen to the JLP supporters, that's for the reason. So I make the point based on the findings today. If 18% of the
Because neighbor, it even goes to show that majority of Jamaicans favor the JLP, but in most cases they don't vote for the JLP. They don't vote for the PNP either. The undecided.
No, this one, right? This would have been done based on elected registered voters. So from once you get these persons who say they support the party up to upwards of 90%, you're in very good stead.
Yeah.
And it's
What
happening
is the
because
strategy to do that though,
what
Matt?
I saw last year, what I saw last year was there's a lack of communication. There's a lack of a communication mechanism with the JLP last time, and there was not much underground work happening to energize the base and cause the base to attract others to come. That is happening now, and that is why we see the uptick that is there now.
And Maki, a JLP supporter will have an issue with his member of parliament and just don't go vote for that. A JLP supporter will have an issue with their member of parliament and decides I'm not going to the polls. They have an issue with someone in the party, I'm not going to the polls.
A JLP,
Jamaica Labour Party are easily turned off.
A JLP supporter will not go to the port for a very, if they have for a t-shirt.
And don't get it.
I don't get it. They will stay home, I'm telling you.
Yeah, serious.
The comrades are not like that. Whether they get their t-shirt yet. All right, look at this, Scratchy. The other day, when we and Churchill and everybody else, and when we were hammering the message that, listen, Mark Golden don't rate you guys down in our net garden, you know, because he invested low income houses in Bahamas, and look at the state of your community. He would never do that to you guys. And you know what? Those people are gonna get up election morning bright and early and go and vote for Mark Golden. They don't matter about that.
I know of a constituency. It is alleged when a popular MP lost that election, it's because a lot of the Labourites did not go out to vote. And why did they not go out to vote? Because that MP, them say, not for them words, a cater to PMP too much. So they feel like, hey, you know, they should pay more attention to the Labourites, his base. And that's why they didn't go to vote, and that's why he lost the election.
Right, guys. I want you to understand that that influential people in the Labour Party are listening to us. You know, last night, Scratchy.
Yes.
Last night I got a call that our show is being streamed into some into some very, very high places, and that overtures are going to be made to us to assist the process, eh?
Okay, not bad.
What is the advice? What is the advice to the party this afternoon? Scratchy, looking at these numbers.
My advice to the party is, to the party or to supporters. We are all talking to the executive or the member or the supporters.
Everybody.
Top brass.
To the top brass. All right. My advice to the party right now would be, coming out of these poses, yes, we have a leader who Jamaica is rallying around. Let's continue to rally around our leader. All of us on social media here, let's continue to push and make our presence be felt. I know that the hierarchy is planning and doing what they are supposed to do. I have faith and confidence in them. I know that the Prime Minister himself also is planning a wonderful campaign to launch. So just let us not get complacent, guys. Let us just look at the numbers, stifle through the numbers, see where we are falling off, work on those areas, and just come strong and let's just do it for Jamaica. Whenever the Prime Minister is ready to call the election, whether it won't be an early or a late one, we are all ready and waiting, Mr. Prime Minister.
Yeah, Bridget, what would you say are the weaknesses that you see the poll are showing for the party? It's not all strength. Are there any concerns for you as you look at the polls? You mentioned the 50-50. Are there any other concerns that you have?
Those 18, what was it? 18% of labor rights. Remind me that number.
18% who are saying that they don't trust the leader.
Yes. That 18% is not worrying, but labor rights shouldn't be have that high number. And as the gentleman was saying this morning, Mr. Morel, he was saying the messaging needs to go out some more. People might say that uno no see road, uno no see this, but there's a lot of things that are going on that is not disseminated to a lot of persons. And when we start to get that message out and let people feel those social programs that the party has put in place, that number is gonna decline. And that is what I want us to do, to make sure that, you know, persons in your constituency, 75 and older, register them to get that money every 2 weeks. You know, there's so many things we can do. So that is my input, to get the social.
You are concerned that 18% of
Yes.
labor rights don't
Yes.
trust the Prime Minister.
Yes, and I think that
What would cause that though? Is it
the percentage is too high.
Can I
Yes, sir.
jump in
Go-
here?
Go ahead.
Remember, over the last year, there has been a negative campaign against the Prime Minister. And I think what you see there in that 18% number is vestiges of that negative campaign that we need to come out,
Okay.
put it to rest in a strong way. Yeah. Because at this point of our I don't know, we don't really start an actual campaign yet, but at this point, you know, we shouldn't have such a high number.
Exactly.
I think that number has to go down,
Yeah.
because it's about our base, and we're gonna rely heavily on our base
And
to
them.
turn out. You know, so I think the Prime Minister has to find a way to deal with those people who are still hanging on to some of those negative campaigns.
And Churchill, I personally, yes, I think it has something to do with the campaign, but I think it more as the negative campaign against the Prime Minister, but I think it more has to do with these persons in some of these constituencies who don't get their favorite to be the candidates. Because if you can see, we have a couple of growths in certain constituencies, if we should be honest. We don't have to go in depth and talk about them. But if we should be honest, we know that there are certain growths in certain constituencies. I think these persons are kind of rebuffing against the Prime Minister based on the decision and the choice that he has made in terms of candidate selections.
Yeah, but those are minimal numbers, though. I think for overall, we're happy with the candidates. Maybe one or two. I don't think that's a significant number of
Yeah, that's
candidates.
not a significant number.
Yes, but we don't
Scratchy.
know where these numbers come from. It might be in one of those those parishes where we're having problem with candidates. That might be a majority of those persons there might say that they are not. It don't have to be an overall from the whole 63 constituencies. You get what I'm saying?
I would lean to Churchill analysis of it, where the propaganda, because labor rights seem to be very gullible. They're easy to get jitter about certain things. So
All right. So Bridget, you personally, is the negative campaign against the Prime Minister affecting you?
no,
All
but
right. Labor rights are very
but-
very personal. I think it has to do with the selection in some of these constituencies. Persons feel that they don't get their candidates.
But Scratchy, I
Scratchy,
get the calls in the mornings.
I used to go on some of these live programs last year to highlight the some of the things that were happening in the party that that I was not happy with. And I must tell you, the responses were very, very hostile towards me.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people who you can't say one negative thing about the party for them. And I don't think that is the approach that we should take. I think that where there are areas of concern, it is because people are interested in the party why they even raise them, sir, because they could decide that they're not going to be quiet and stay away from the ballot box. Not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a multiple things that because As I said, you know, neighbor.
Bridget, is a high number of labor rights.
Yes, yes.
That you feel are that number should be below 5%, or none at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, 18 is a little bit too much for me.
That's the point I was raising earlier. I am of the view that from once you're able to engage a base, so much so that they are satisfied, that they are energized, and they are convincing others to join the fray, you need not worry about what the opposition is going to bring. You see, one of the issues that I had last year now is that there was no communication mechanism, a direct mechanism that was out there to combat some of the propaganda that's there. What we find on social media now is that those of us who support the JLP are energized, so much so that it is causing others, you know, to have what you call it, trepidation. That's the word I use, right? And what is also happening is that persons that I believe that should have been in the forefront fighting for the JLP wasn't put in the fray. So when you appoint man like Marlon Morgan and then on a seat right to the Senate, when you set up your communication team to include Morgan and others, those who are not afraid to be strident but factual, it gives the base some energy.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the Prime Minister himself was fighting the PNP alone. That caused persons to be upset and frustrated and a bit, we call it now, isolated and kind of withdrawn. But when you have the energy on the ground and the support, it does a different thing altogether. And I keep making the point. You know, in Jamaica, we love curry. I'm using the word now in other words. When the curry is on the ground, it does better for the party. So if persons are feeling the curry, you know, feeling the road work, feeling energized, you know, getting promotion, the public sector issues are being sorted out, certainly things are happening. It's a different mindset altogether. And that's what is happening. So which is why I say that when the PNP has flatlined, they have nothing more to come with. The JLP, as a get through the budget and get through other things, it only goes better for them going into election come later this year.
As I said, I think the PNP has peaked already. That's my, that's peaked already.
I want to raise an issue though, because I realize that the PNP is using the Ncambo as an attack dog, dog in quotation. How the party has responded to how is the party to respond to this? And do you think, Churchill, that they are effectively responding to the Ncambo effect?
Well, we have to understand the style of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is not into the baga.
Yeah, the Ray, yeah.
And the Ray. And his message has been very clear for those who want to listen. It has been very, very clear. So I don't think necessarily we have to behave like Dayton. What we have to be is continue to be factual and point out what the government has done, all the good things the government has done, and where we see attack on our Prime Minister, it has to be defended. Don't let it stay out there and linger. It has to be, we come with our facts and lay them out as they are. And I think people, you know, as the campaign gets on the ground, I think we'll find those numbers go down, really and truly. I don't think
I agree with that, Churchill.
I don't think we have to follow what Dayton Campbell is going on with, because we have the policies, and we hear, you know, especially the tax issue that Dayton is trying to promote. We have to make people understand that's what these people are going to do, and we're not going back there. So I don't have a problem when our campaign is on in full. I think a lot of those things are gonna just what Dayton Campbell go on with will disappear.
Churchill, the one time or two time they attempt to speak about policies or what they're gonna do, they put themselves in big trouble. Do you notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. Anytime they attempt to say this is what we're going to do, this is our policy, this This is what different we're going to do from what the Jamaica Labour Party is doing. They put themselves in problems. So that's why most of the time they don't go there.
What Dayton
I don't know
Campbell
if
is,
anybody noticed that.
the style that Dayton Campbell is coming with, and what the PNP, that's what I'm telling you, that's why the PNP is not attractive, because the PNP is just campaigning towards its base. We, as the governing party, we have to make sure that we are not only campaigning to our base, we are campaigning to the wider Jamaica. Dayton Campbell bulldog style that he's coming with.
And the world, Scotchy, the world.
And the world, exactly. So our style has to be different. We have to show that we are the governing party also. And campaign with a different style. This bulldog style that Dayton Campbell is going to only fall on his own sword. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a view doing.
Chuck is
But
here.
then-
Oh, sorry.
the
Go
issues
ahead.
though.
Sorry.
One of the issues I find though, neighbor, is that I believe one of the things that work against the JLP during lead up to February also was too much of these mass meetings. I think what needs to happen is a divisional meeting as much as possible. So in each division, in every constituency, you have divisional meetings, right? So you energize the base from the very root, right? You can have a mass meeting, like when it probably come down close to the election, like a gospel concert there or something there. But I believe, to my mind, the party, and that is my message to the party right now, every constituency should have been a divisional meeting.
Stay on the ground.
You understand? Divisional meeting.
The mass meeting leading up to February election.
Chuck Finley, good night, sir. How is the party to respond to the Dayton Campbell? And I see where Dayton Campbell is also suggesting that the PNP is going to block up Jamaica.
Lock down the country.
Block up Jamaica. Why has the party not responded to that? So today.
You see, the threat to lock down the country is one that I would urge. That's a threat. That's a
The
threat.
national security.
Don't you think the party should have responded to that today, sir? Or the government of Jamaica through the Ministry of National Security or the General Secretary of the party?
Yes, I believe they should have responded to it, but also
Yes, I don't know if you could help me, but you remember the protest in Jamaica, the major protest. Help us to remember.
99.
Huh?
That's right.
Of 99.
Not that one, the one before that. I think it was the JOS.
Oh yes, that was the last big one we have. Yeah. I think wasn't there also a gas riot? I really some related to gas.
You know how that started. You know how that started, Chuck. It wasn't planned, you know. The point I'm making is that you see when a party issues a threat like that, all it takes is one of its supporters to light a fire, you know. And it could mushroom right across the country. I think it is something that should be responded to. You don't think so?
But this is what civic groups should be for. These are the things that the civic group and the media
Exactly.
should be talking on. This is why they should be. This is where they should step out now and caution Dayton Campbell. Say, listen to me. Words have meaning to people. So
Yes.
when you are telling the people, say, we are going to burn down Jamaica, that is you telling, say, get on a backland or torch ready.
Well, block up is the
All
word
it
to
takes,
use.
all it takes is one. But the PMP has always been the party, neighbor, that would rather burn down Jamaica than see it prosper. That has always been the stance of the PMP. We would rather roll the ashes than the high rise.
And the government is going to be always, the government are going to guide it in this approach, neighbor.
Do we have anyone online from Portmore? Because this is coming out of the Portmore parish thing, you know. Do we have anyone online from Portmore that could share with us what are we hearing over there in Portmore, Churchill? Why is the PNP so against this 15 parish?
Because when it goes through, neighbor, the political lines will have to be redrawn, right? And it's gonna eliminate some of the garrisons that they have. So they are not worried about
Chuck, I don't mean to cut you off, but before you go there, so good evening, everybody. I think one of the thing that is, I don't know if maybe I want to say the PNP don't know, but I think they're underestimating the power of the JCF or the Ministry of National Security in Jamaica. I think they're making these threats widely and expecting their people to react and not remembering or then them go cry, oh, you see what the government do, you see what this, you see what that.
But Rashika, it's not illegal to protest.
But I am suggesting that when the
protest
general...
is not illegal, but
yeah, protest is not
burn
illegal.
down the country is.
No,
Yes.
that is, I am not
the
saying
actions that come with it that might break the law. But protest
I am
itself
not
is not
saying,
illegal.
I am not insinuating that it
Well,
is illegal.
let me carry some van scratchy. They did not threaten to protest, they threatened to burn down the country.
Did he say burn down?
No, I never said burn
lock
down.
down? Did he
He
say
said lock
burn
down.
and lock down?
Let me tell you something. There is also something that Dayton said that is bothering me, and it is really bothering me. Dayton also said that they have to get rid of the Prime Minister one way or another.
Did he say that, Lashika?
Yes.
He
I heard it.
He said that.
He
said that.
No, I'm not
Guys, remember guys, we have to be, remember guys, after Dayton Campbell, that meeting keeps Sunday, guys, and we had a press conference. And you notice that press conference, none of our spokesperson didn't bring up that. It must be some form of strategic reason why or something why they did more.
No, guys, listen to what I'm saying. The press conference was about, if you notice, they have not diverted. The press conference was about the corruption, the KSAMC.
Yes, but Lashika,
right?
Something as important as that. Remember, guys, we have to always, I'm not picking up on the PNP, but context
I understand what you're saying, but I am pretty sure that the party or the government or the Prime Minister is assessing what Dayton is saying, because Dayton has been spewing basically some threats against the Prime Minister, against the state, and I think they're doing some evaluation there, right there. He said he's that,
fall on his own sword.
And that bothers me. It bothers me so much that he said that. You know,
I don't like this lock up. I think I'm trying to find the tape about lock up, block up is the word. Block up. They're going to block up Jamaica. You know, they're going to block up Jamaica. I am saying that you know, guys, media in Jamaica really is losing it, you know. And what we call civil society and the civil society groups have to do better than this, you know. And we must hold people accountable because words matter. The position you hold matter. You are an important person in the society. You are the general secretary of a major political party.
Let me tell you something, neighbor.
You are saying that you are going to lock up Jamaica. What does that mean?
Let me tell you something, neighbor. Our problem in Jamaica, one of the problems that we're having in Jamaica is how uninformed our people are, and some of our people are illiterate. Well, I would say that they are. One of the things that I used to do as a parent, the kitchen was my best friend when I was in Jamaica. When I come home in the evenings, that's where me and my son would do the homeworks. And on Sundays, I love to read the newspaper. So I would always get the Sunday Observer, Sunday Gleaner, and me and my son would read it together.
The kitchen on Sunday too.
Yes, and the
Gleaner and the Observer and the table.
Yes, we had a big kitchen counter. L kitchen counter. So sometimes that time my son was much younger, so you'd be sitting on top of the counter and we'd go through the newspaper together. But the newspaper is not carrying the information that people need. When things are said, there's nothing. The newspaper is a gossip. The news, the Observer and the Gleaner is like, it's a gossip column. When I used to want to laugh, me used to buy the Star so I can read it, feel laugh,
Yeah,
the Dear
right.
Pastor and the gossip and all of that. But the Gleaner, me see people say things man Dear Dreams and Pink Wall and it reach Gleaner. And that says a lot about the newspaper itself. So the newspaper and the TVJ is not doing Jamaica any justice. They are not doing Jamaica any justice if we don't come here. When I look at the poll and 18 to 24 year, well, I go say the country is going in the right direction. That means that the country don't understand the macroeconomics. The 18 to 24 age group were supposed to come out of school with a little bit of maths, economics, English, who can put 1 and 2 together, don't understand what is going on, because guess what? The enough information is not being channeled to them, right?
But they are the ones, Lashika, who can Google whatever they hear. So why aren't they doing that? Are they just listening to IG and the other rest of the TikTokers?
Everybody interest different.
The party yesterday called for the resignation of the mayor of Kingston. Is it the party that made the call, or is it the government of Jamaica? And I noticed that that never made it in the Gleaner today. How come?
It was on front page of the Observer this morning.
Yes, but the Gleaner is how much years old?
Gleaner not interested, and
No,
I heard your question.
The press conference.
I heard your question. Yeah, I heard your question earlier, and I'm going to point you to something. I think what is it, Chuck? New York Post, Chuck. I think a New York Post where Jeff Bezos is now the owner.
Washington.
Can you see? Washington Post, can you?
Yes,
Washington Post.
Washington Post.
Washington Post. Jeff Bezos is in charge of Washington Post, and they strike down a deal where they said, get rid of Elon Musk or something like that. I am just making that connection to say to you, what do my name, Chuck? What own Gleaner now? Matalan. Matalan is now the chairman of Gleaner. Right? He's now the chairman of Gleaner. Do you see where I'm going with that? What comes out of that newspaper is controlled also by that chairman who is affiliated with the PNP, just like how Jeff Bezos is associated with Elon Musk and the current President Trump.
And remember, Matalan did endorse.
Is a call for the resignation of the mayor of Kingston, not a major development in our country. We are a political party calling for the resignation of the mayor of Kingston, alleging that there has been some impropriety.
I don't know if any of you guys, Chuck, let me just say this. I don't know if any of you guys listened to the press conference keenly yesterday. You know, you hear what Juliet Cuthbert said. You hear the questions what Juliet Cuthbert asks. Very important questions.
I think they have some evidence, you know, Lashika. It is coming.
But I am asking Ashika, why wasn't the Minister of Local Government at that press conference? Why is the resignation not coming from him?
I think he endorsed it, you know, but he wasn't there. But he endorsed it. If you read
for me, because that was a party press conference and not the government one.
Yes, but
a party that held that press conference.
And you have the two communication task for a person that were there, Apka and Marlon.
And I think I think the party is, the government is, is careful in what they meddle in.
Exactly.
Next thing you hear say the government say, and then you hear why not let the Auditor General do what they're
Whereas
supposed
it's
to
under
do.
investigation.
You know, so stuff like
I
that
think,
is
give us your views on the polls. Now, give us your views on the polls that came out this evening. The polls are suggesting that the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party is enjoying 47, scratchy head, 42%
2%.
favorability
You know, say
rating.
this is something that I have always said, you know. You know,
You
say
have
Andrew
said it?
Carey, not the numbers, but Andrew Carey in the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Andrew Holness, when I reflect on yesterday when them say 50-50,
Yeah.
a lot of times I hear people say, if I could have voted for the Prime Minister, I'd have voted for him. A lot of time I hear people say, I don't vote for my MP, I vote for the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So things like that came back to me with the 50-50 today versus what his ratings were.
Bridget is very concerned about this 50-50. Why is it that she should not be concerned?
HR. You know that I am not.
I greet you all in the name of Shower. Yes?
Shower Labour, right?
Shower Labour, right.
I am not concerned.
Bridget is very concerned about.
I am not concerned, Bridget.
You're not?
Rephrase it.
From where we're coming from, I am not concerned. Remember, say them beat we and butter bruise we know.
You are not
right?
concerned that 50% of Jamaicans.
No,
Lashika,
I am not.
It was
I am not.
confusing to me. It was confusing that we are 10%. All of this, I'm just explaining.
I want to talk to Ashika. Ashika, you're not concerned that 50% of Jamaicans say that.
You know why? Because if it was a time when we see the Jamaica Labour Party out there a campaign, and it's a thing where we're seeing where incumbent governments getting a flocking left, right, and center, and if my opposition, my opponent out there 4 years straight, I tell everybody say me corrupt, me thief, my government wicked, my government uncaring, and me and you still there neck to neck, and I'm just doing government business. Me just a work, right? Me no make. Yesterday, data and in the news about 5 different articles. What data is saying versus what is coming from the JLP, and this has been a trend. And if we're at 50-50, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing when the party start to campaign.
Some would argue, Ashika, that with the performance of the government, the performance of the economy, reduction in crime, high.
All right, so let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, and this is a problem for me. It doesn't matter what. There are some things that you have to address, and efficiency is one of the biggest things for me in Jamaica. People can go into the bank, neighbor, and spend whole day in there. People can go in a tax office and spend all day in there. People can go at the hospital and spend 2-3 days in there just to get them blood pressure check and them something there. So those low-hanging fruits need to be addressed. Yes, you go to the hospital, fine, we understand that there's a waiting time, but also you have to address the customer service. But that's when we deal with the person, me no bother frustrated. Me calm down. But there's no way I am standing waiting for 5 hours to get through. And when I come to you, you give me attitude. Yes, the government now. The government. For me, I believe that the country for open from 7 to 7. The banks them for open, the tax office, just open up the place, make people do business. That's how I feel. There's no way me have to sacrifice one work day if go in at the bank, if go in at government services. So those things is affecting people. The next thing is a man I go always You say, all right, we have to connect. Yes, we have to can make people understand where we're coming from. You understand me? We have to connect the dot where. Understand me? We have to connect the dot where we're found, and it was very important. Yes, we have cut our. He explained it very well. So these are the things that we have to do, and we have to take it to the communities, because I saw a post today. So you can't conversate with Mark Golding back and forth, and somebody comment and say, I can't wait for vote out the government. But